Hi, Eva. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Honestly, I'm a bit nervous. As you know, it's my first interview in English, but I think we're going to make a great job.
Yes, so that is how stars are born. I mean, you are already a star. There is no question about that. But for now, you're just shining on the German-speaking skies. And so it's time to always step out of your comfort zone and spread your wings so you can conquer and fly wherever you want to.
So I hope that your audience don't mind if I stumble a bit or if I don't know some words, because it's really stretching my comfort zone, as you said.
Yes, so I'll just bring up the comments. So the audience, if they kind of have thoughts about that, so that is just an invitation to make sure that no matter what, always there's sometimes you do something the first time and you will never, ever, ever, ever want paradigms about, is it going to be okay? Is it going to be good, to hold you back from what you really want? So therefore, just go ahead and enjoy the ride. Okay, so I'm set up here as well. And now comments are, I can see the comments as well. And yeah, we can rock and roll. So yes. Here, Eva, I want to, okay, let me just put this here. Okay. I'm really ready. So I want to introduce you also, because not everyone knows already what you are doing and why you are already so famous on the German skies. So Eva is known as a finance alchemist, which is a very interesting word. I'm even not sure if everyone is familiar with the term alchemist. So once in the mid-ages, those people that tried to create gold with all kinds of chemical, physical, whatever processes were called alchemists. And what Eva is doing is she has such a huge kind of knowledge that she's spreading, and she has wonderful courses. Like really, you can start your journey from zero or even below zero and up to, if you're already financially free and super wealthy, but there is always something you can do and especially learn from Eva. So she has dozens of courses, I think thousands of participants already. I think she's on every financial congress in the German-speaking market at least that I attended or that I'm aware of. I had the great honor to also be invited twice to participate in her congresses. And yes, and now it's her time to grow outside her market and conquer the next one.
Yes, let's do this.
Absolutely. So would you like to share your story, how you even got started with all of this?
Yes, as you said, an alchemist turns stones into gold. He's making something brilliant out of something which doesn't seem to be brilliant. But let's start at the beginning. I once studied business administration because I thought that's the way to become rich. But I get inspired really soon by my grandfather, who was really successful as an entrepreneur. And on the other side, my parents, it's a bit like Rich Dad Poor Dad. They both were teacher and they aren't interested in money at all. But I had these two influences in my life, and I decided it might be better to become rich than not to be interested in money. And after my studies, I started a job in the financial sector because I didn't trust myself that I can jump into entrepreneurship. So I thought I had to learn and to learn and to learn, and I did it 4 years. And after that, I decided, okay, it's not my it's not my kind of working to have these jobs, and I would like to do something on my own. And I started an online business in 2007 in a really early stage. But that what I'm doing now, I think I'm doing it since 2016. And it was out of a situation. I'm living in a really, how can I say, we have a really good life here. We have a nice house, we have a nice garden, we have 3 children, we are all healthy, it's everything fine. And my husband, who is a dentist, has always earned enough for our whole family. And we were in a quite comfortable situation, I guess. But one day in 2016, he earned too much and didn't forecast it enough. So we had a really high amount of Steuern. Taxes, yes, I know the word, but I forgot it. We had to pay nearly 100,000 euros in taxes, and it wasn't cash on my account, on my bank account. So it was the first time in my life that I don't know how to pay my bills. I never experienced this before, and at this moment I decided I will never ever experience this again. So what can I do to change the situation that no matter what happened, this won't happen again to me? And then I took all my knowledge and thought, okay, what can I do with all this stuff I have learned, and what can I do above these to learn how to do things I don't know yet? Because obviously what I now know didn't kept me from the situation. So I set up my first online summit with over 50 participants, or speaker, not participant, speaker. And I squeezed them out like a lemon and asked, okay, what's your strategy to become financially free? And instantly I adopt all these strategies for my life. I think I've built up over 10 different income streams since then. And I read every book and I looked up for every mentor I could get in this time. Yes, and since then I think I've interviewed 500, 600 persons, all the brilliant minds in the German-speaking market, and I was digging for their success secrets, for their secrets to become financially free, and I think I found a lot of them, and I've adopted all of them to my life, and I help all my clients to adopt the secrets to their life. And that's how it started.
It's very beautiful in the book, The Science of Getting Rich. So they say that the truly rich, or those who created riches, not only created for themselves, but also for the people that follow them. And so this is such a beautiful way that you do it. Not only you learn it for yourself, but also you pass on your knowledge, and therefore it's such a beautiful thing that there is, like, for every person you can get started. So that is the main message for today, that everyone can get started no matter where they're at. So as Eva said, they were earning too much and then weren't prepared for what's coming. People here know my journey. We had 6 businesses and something happened. We didn't back ourselves up, and then we had to choose to first recover health-wise. My husband had a health issue, and so we kind of financially lost everything, and that was my decision. Oh dear, I am now going to learn everything about financial freedom, and I'm going to jump back to my feet and do what it takes to become financially free. So the first step is just a decision.
Mm-hmm.
What are the stories that people come to you? What are their points? Where do they get started?
Okay, there are two different points. Some people come to me and they are saying, okay, I don't know how to manage money. At the end of the month, my bank account is empty, and it's often in the middle of the month, to be honest. It's not at the end of the month, and I would like to learn how to earn more money. And then I can give them different strategies to, just to earn more, just to build up more income streams. But that's a quite passive, it's not a passive, it's quite an active way to build up income streams. The passive income is coming later. If you have done the work, it's not at the beginning, it is at the end that your income gonna be passive. And that are the starters who one learn how to make money out of books, how to make money out of affiliate marketing or network marketing or an Airbnb business or whatever, or some real estate business, kind of this. And I have persons who earn enough, but they never ever they never thought about investing, and they don't know how to do this, and they would like to start and say, okay, I did a mistake in the past. I have never I've never been interested in that, and I don't know how to do. Just help me to start my investments. What can I do to invest and to let my money work for me? Because we all know the 4-Quadranten-Schema von Robert Kiyosaki, the cash flow quadrant, yes, from Robert Kiyosaki. And the right side is where the entrepreneurs and the investors are. And they have smart systems to let their money work for them instead of working for their money. And the beginners, they have to work for their money at first, but they're gonna do the change to become entrepreneur or to become investor. And I help them to do the switch or even to get started and build up new income streams.
Yeah, that's a very good point, to do the switch, because that's the thing. Once you know how to earn money, okay, let's say at the beginning people trade time for money. Mm-hmm. And then when to make this switch is like, there is a notion of many people, first they have to earn a lot of money, but then they never define what does it mean a lot of money, because basically you can start investing already with 100 euros or dollars, right? So don't wait.
Yes.
And so this mindset switch is something that we really discuss over the next couple of weeks. What is it that you recommend, how to create this mindset switch?
Okay, I think it's the biggest mistake people can do to wait until they are thinking that they're gonna be perfect to start someone. You never will be perfect. Sorry for that, but in a different way, we are all perfect right now. And your time is a critical factor if you regard your wealth building, if you regard your income. And if you don't use this time, you will lose much more than just time. Yeah, and it's so important even to learn from your failures than to do nothing. And I know that it might be challenging to jump in the cold water to do something you have never done before, that you might tremble and you think, wow, I really don't like this. Yeah, I know all this. I have gone through it several times, and I will go through it several times more, because that's the normal way. If the normal way of expanding your choices, your possibilities, whatever in your life, you have to go through. I think you call it terror barrier. You have to go through it again and again. And if you are aware, that's a quite normal process. Every of us has this terror barriers in every stage of his life, again and again. Then you can get used to it. You can train your muscle, your terror barrier muscle, to go through it and to see, okay, after this barrier, it's quite safe. Nothing will happen. No tiger is coming, and I'm here safe. It's quite a bit stretchy. I have to learn new things to become better. But if you understand that you really need to build up systems instead of changing your time against money, and that these systems can do the work for you, it's way smarter than just to hustle and to change 1 hour against a specific amount of money, even if it might be much money. Yeah, you have to find ways how to build systems. And I think if you try to be aware, if you try to keep it in mind that this change is important, if you would like to scale up, then you can build up an understanding, and it might be easier to go through your next barrier, because we all do this. Really, we all do this.
Yes, so definitely for those who have never heard the term before, terror barrier, we call it in our program Thinking into Results. And if you want to have more information, just write me a PM and I'll happily give you more information about that. And so it's a concept that there is something new. And in order to get to next level, the thing is, and that's what holds so many people back, you necessarily have to leave your current level. And this growth, and all women that have been pregnant and given birth, you know that there is growth pain, but it's so worth it when you then have your baby in your hand, or you see the bank account growing, it's just that. So the question first that also can fuel your enthusiasm to start is, do you want that? And if it's your decision to, yes, it's my decision to become financially free, start today. It's always better to start yesterday. The second best time is just to start right now. So here you have a great expert, and there is no excuse. Many people have made their way with Eva to become financially free. So no excuse, just get started. By the way, there is the links above. So you can get all the info where to sign up for a call with Eva's team, and also to join the Money EQ Masterclass that is coming up. So that said, that you said something very interesting about there is a strategy for everyone. So I'm talking about Money IQ and Money EQ. So the IQ stands for the intelligence quotient, that's the strategies, the systems, the processes, everything that you have in place. And the other part of it is the EQ, the emotional intelligence. And often what's holding back people is the fear, the excitement, the not knowing how, the too much information, and therefore I don't do anything. So how would you recommend to bring them together?
As I said, I think you have to start, because the only way to let loose your fear is to see that nothing will happen, or even if something will happen, that it won't kill you, that you're still safe. And I made an interview with Hermann Scherer, quite a famous speaker in the German field, and he told me about a kind of summit in the Silicon Valley for 3 days, and the participants paid, I think, $70,000 for these 3 days, and the main question was, what drives you to action? And they were they held several speeches, and they were discussing about this topic. And would you like to suggest what the answer is? What drives you to action?
Desire?
Action. Yes. Action. Yeah. I think desire is a great base to have the engine to start. If you don't desire anything, why should you start? But I think so many people, it's just a small step to start. It's really, you can start with a tiny amount of money if you would like to invest, for example. Yeah, there are several income strategies where you just have to spend your time and not your money to start. And it's just a tiny step to start. But if you don't do this step, you will never start. You will never close the gap between your desire and your action if you don't do this step. And I think it's important not to be, in German we call it Kopflos. I don't know the English word for it.
Yeah, I think the literal translation wouldn't sound good.
I think but you don't have to lose your mind. You don't have to
do something without thinking first.
Yes, your purpose shouldn't be just to do. Yeah, it's okay to sit down and think, okay, what can I do to go this step? What is important to minimize my failure risk? But there will be failures. Yes, it's quite determined that there will be failures. I don't know anyone, no matter how successful he is or she is, without any failures. I did so many of this. And it's no failure is a problem as long as you will learn out of it. And as long as you think, okay, how can I do it better if I face the same situation the next time? So drive yourself into action with mini steps. Might be mini steps, but take action. Think a moment, but not too long. Get yourself some clear action steps, some clear action goals. You can make a commitment with yourself, for example, and say, okay, up till end of this week, I will have to do my first action step. I have the time this week, and if I don't think in this time, then I won't do it in the future. Then I do the step without thinking before. I just do it.
Yes, we call it. Sorry, you go.
Try to commit yourself. Look for someone who can mentor you, who can be on your side. Go to Nadine and let her help you to do the steps and be committed for this, or look for a commitment buddy, someone who's support you to do these action steps. Yes.
And so we call it also to take inspired action. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly the difference between those that take action, they hustle, and I have to do it, or take inspired actions like, these are my options. Now I want to go inside and know which one feels best. And then do it. Like, even if you feel that, oh no, I can't do it. Yes, you can, because you can. And in Silicon Valley, or the startup scene, we call it fail fast, because if you don't get started, you will never get there. So if you get started, you fail with the, let's say, strategy 1, you know immediately that you can pivot to strategy 2, 3, or 4, right? So that's it. That is fail fast. So do decisions that, I can invest a certain amount of resource. And with resource, you can invest time, skills, talent, money, your network. There is so many things that you can invest, and no one can tell me you don't have, because you have. So that's, if you think that, so that's a mindset as well, and let's take care of that as well. So take inspired action. And I would like to go in with you in these 3 kinds, or 3 ways how to make money. So the first we cover, it's time for money. The second is money for money. And the third is ideas for money. So do you want to go? Or I think your specialties is in the second, but you go and cover what you can teach us on that. Yes. At first, I would like to add something. You are speaking about inspired action. And I think it's really important to know that if you don't get inspired, you're stuck to the knowledge you have at the moment. And you think that within this knowledge,
there might be the solution for your problem. But if it would be there, then you would found it in the past. And you have to recognize that there's so much more around you, which you don't know yet, but which can come immediately to you if you just open up the field of possibilities. And if you look, okay, for example, within my network, is there a person who can help me to do this step or to take this inspired kind of action? And have some look for people to communicate with, to expand your field of possibilities, and be aware that there is this eternal field of everything, and that you're at the moment stuck on a little point of your actual knowledge. So let loose of this perception that you can solve the problems just with your actual knowledge. So if you speak about ways to build up income streams,
or let's just get into that in a minute, because you brought up a very important point. So, people like Bob Proctor, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, they that are now multimillionaires or billionaires, they all say the first 100,000, if they would do everything again, the first 100,000 go into personal development. How do you do that?
Honestly, I didn't do that. But I also spent a lot of money, because otherwise exactly what I've told you before would have happened. I would have get stuck to what I've already know. And if there's no one who is telling me, okay, you actually see 3 options, but there are 500, let them away and take one of the other options, then I never would have expand. But my personal superpower were my online summits, where I can connect with all these people, seeing all these millions of options I have never dreamed of before that could be possible. That's because I could do this without investing so much in some mentorships, some programs. But if you don't do this, if you don't set up some online summits, if you don't get in touch with all these inspiring people, then you have to open this field of eternal, everything is possible. If you're speaking with persons who are millionaires or billionaires, it's so amazing what's possible for them. It's so amazing that the obstacles we are in front of are just for them. And it's not because they have so much more money. It's because they train so much more their mindset. They don't stop if there's any obstacle. They are looking for ways how to get through it. And I think it's so nice to train this obstacle muscle, to get through it. And the best way, if you don't know how to start, is clearly to invest in your personal development, to invest in a person who can help you to do all these jumps, because it will be trembling, it will be fearful, maybe it will not be comfortable, but it will be worth it if you do it.
Yes, so true. Yeah, so let's go into the money for ideas.
Okay, so if you have money and if you would like to build up some more income streams, you can, for example, think about real estate business, because it's really, really nice. You can invest your money in some real estate projects, and you can get back every month a kind of a passive cash flow, because real estates are still the most famous millionaires strategy, because you have a third party your bank, which is paying for your flat, for your real estate property, and you have another party, the one who is renting the flat, who's paying your debts. So you can build up wealth without investing much of your own money. But you have, in my opinion, if you're a starter, you have to invest money. You shouldn't do this per 100% fine. You don't have, sorry?
With other people's money.
Yes, you have to do this, but not for 100%, because for the start, it's better if you invest a bit of your money, because then you are safer on your Vermögensbilanz. if you see
Assets
what you have
in the balance.
Yes, it's better for your balance, because then you have every time a bit more on the side of what you have than on the side of what you have to pay back to the bank.
Yes.
And so it's better to start with this. But it's a really, if you really understand the concept that it's just a tiny amount of your money and that it will bring you back over 20, maybe even 30% per year in cash flow on your invested money, it shouldn't be a question for you to do this investment in the real estate sector, because it's really smart. It's a really, I think it's also a kind of an investment which is really stable in worth. You are not so much concerned of inflation. And in my opinion, I don't think that the prices for the real estate will go down in the future dramatically. I don't know what's going to be happen. I like to say that my glass bowl, I don't know the English word for it, you know, where you can see the future, it's a bit foggy. It's not so clear as I would like it to have, but yes, but I think real estates are a really good way. So, but it shouldn't be the only way, because it's important that you have a diversified assets, that you don't just put all your eggs in one basket. Because if something will happen with the real estate industry, if the prices are going down, if something else will happen, then it might be good to have some other assets which you build up. And I think another asset where I would, which is, in my opinion, absolutely necessary, is the stock market. And you can start with really tiny amount of money. You can invest maybe 15 euro per month, maybe 20, maybe 25 euro per month to get started. And it depends on the amount of money you are having at the moment you start. If you have nothing, then please start with 15, 20, 25 euro. If you have more, if you maybe have 20,000 euro, then it might be it might be the best way to do some of them in a so-called ETF and some of them in stocks, in some specific stocks. And the way I do this is I look at the chart pattern, and I'm thinking about with which probability this chart pattern might develop in the next 3 months, the next half year, and the next year. And I can see what's happened there in the past, and that gives me some hints. It's just a probability. It's not for sure what's going to happen, but it's a certain probability. Then I can estimate what's going to happen in the future. And I have really nice investment rates. Percentages. Thank you so much by doing this. And I think you have to know, the more knowledge you can sample in one field, the more, I think, the more successful you might be. It's not in every field, but you can specialize if you have more knowledge, and if you don't have so much knowledge, you have to generalize your assets. So don't pick without knowing what you're doing some asset and invest in this. Just make your strategy plan where to invest. And if it's below 20,000, start with ETFs. It's a nice way. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund, and it just doesn't mean that you can trade the fund on the exchange. It's a fund in which is built up an entire index of a market segment. You can have ETFs on nearly every segment of different markets. If it's the gold market, if it's the wheat market, if it's the German market, if it's the technology market, or even the whole world. And if you don't know something specific, then you can invest in the world market, in the development of the whole world. And there's one ETF with which you can do this, or there are several ETFs, but one is the MSCI All Country World. And if you're at the beginning, if you would like to invest a small amount of money, and if you really just have to start, take this one ETF. If you don't think that the sky might come down to us and the world market won't develop in a positive way, then that might be a good option to invest in this one ETF, because they're really low costs in these ETFs, but they build up the development of this segment you choose. And if you choose the whole world, then you can build up the development of the whole world industries.
Yes, yes. So speaking about assets, there are also assets that you can even start with zero money when you, for example, have online courses, books, perhaps, photographs or audios that you can upload and earn money. So that is still time for money. So again, do not wait until you have some money by your side. So for those of you who know my story, when I totally financially crushed and I started to build my way up again, I took every 100 francs or euro that was above the budgeted expenses, which were low already, but I took every 100 francs or euros and invested it in all kinds of things. So I made a point to have some peer-to-peer investment. So I bought a share of a startup and a share of a stock. I bought a crypto, like part of a coin, kind of like just to try everything. And then you never know how things grow. So from my crypto 100 is by now some 450. So it's not a big, with 450, I'm not getting rich, but I do get the grip of how this works. And so whenever I decide, I increase this 100 to 1,000 and this 100 to 5,000, and that's how you work your way up. But it is a strategy, it is a decision that you are going to walk that path. So Eva, in your opinion, is it more difficult to get constantly 5 figures a month, or to make your first 10,000 in investment, or to hit 1 million?
Oh, I think what's more difficult depends on your personality. I think it's both. It isn't both difficult if you have someone who can tell you how to do this. And honestly, I didn't realize the moment back in time when I jumped over this 10,000 per month, because I just were in my business, and then I look back, say, oh, okay, nice. Now it's more than this. and it's not so difficult. It really isn't, and it's the same for investing. It's also not that difficult, but I think it's quite a good way to see all these options. You mentioned cryptos and peer-to-peer, and I think you have to be aware that there are some investment strategies which are connected with lower risk, and some others which are connected with higher risks. And I think if you have nothing, then it didn't play a role. You just have to do something. And if you lose your €100, okay, it might be not so nice, but it won't be a tragedy. But if you start investing, I think the first thing, you should spend 2, 3, 4 hours. Please don't spend more time on this, because then it's too much, with your strategy. So what's the risk I would like to bear? What's bearable for me? What's too much? What's so much risk that I can't sleep during the night? Just yesterday, it's honestly, it was today in the morning, I bought some new crypto coins, and I was really, whoa! They are really high risk coins, but they made in the last, some of them made in the last month, nearly 1,000% of worth increase up. Yeah. So you see, I have to practice my English a bit more. And you have to think about, am I in the constitution that it's okay for me to have this risky investments, or shall I better invest in real estate objects? Shall I better invest in really worldwide spreaded ETF funds? What's my strategy? What's best for me? I think that might took a few hours, but not much more. Yeah, then you have to start, and yeah, then what's complicated for you, what's difficult for you, depends on your inspiration, on your desire, on your wish, which person you would like to become. And I think if you have a strong desire to become whatever you want, then the way might be easier than if you haven't this desire. So I can't give a general answer to the question what might be more difficult.
That's why also you can book a call with Eva's team to find out what is best for you. And first to unblock whatever blockages there are there, why you haven't started. Like if you haven't started, all the options were open before. So if you haven't started, check why, and you might really well want to participate in the Money EQ Masterclass, which is free, and just highlight these blocks. So it's like, oh, that's what was stopping me. So just get over that. Yes, so now I had a brilliant question and it just slipped my mind. Give me a minute. You said, oh, well, I don't know.
I know this so well. It happened to me so many times that my brilliant question flew away. So
what was it? Yeah, here we go. So because I know that many entrepreneurs are listening to us, so a smart investment also is to actually buy ads for your business, because that's money in, and then you get more clients and money out. So the return of investment when you get started as a entrepreneur can be there, one of the highest ROIs possible. And there are many paradigms or thoughts that, oh, I have to do this organically. I don't know how to, to do that. So that is also something that I consider definitely as an investment if you have a business. So invest there too. And also if you're holding back to invest there, so check what this has, what's the connection with your belief in your business and the message of your business. And that's kind of a diversification strategy again. So whatever thoughts you have, That is your money EQ, the emotional intelligence. So you know both emotional intelligence and knowledge or strategy intelligence, what is money intelligence for you?
And indeed, it's really more often that people struggle on this EQ level, because it's really, the strategies aren't difficult, really not. To start, it's I think my 10-year-old daughter could do this. And if you didn't start up to now, then you have to get unstuck with these money EQ topics. So please work on this if you haven't done it yet. And your question was, sorry, now it's out of my mind.
Okay, so I'll just intersect and say, okay, there is a link for the Money EQ Masterclass right here. And on April 8th, we are going to get started with the Money EQ Mastery. So for those who want to know more about it. And right now, today is March 16, Tuesday. You can still start for the price of last year, which is $500. Then it will raise to $2,000. But those who are getting started before we start the masterclass on Monday, the 22nd, get a discount and can start for $1,200. Thereafter, it will be $2,000. Why am I doing that? And that was the question. It's money intelligence. Mm-hmm. People that start now, that start early, get rewarded. So I want to not only talk the talk, but get you walk the walk. Yes. So yes. Those who that are ready to invest, write APM, I'm in, or click the links that you find around this video, and let's just get started. You are rewarded for that. So the mastery starts on April 8th. So my question was, what is money intelligence for you, or what is your message about money intelligence?
Okay, you just brought up a really important point, so that you can that you say walk your talk and start now. And money intelligence is also to know about the importance of time. Even if you see what the interest rates can do over the time. I don't know the English word for Zins effect. That means that your interest rate is getting new interest rates for you over the time, because you don't take the money out of your investment. You let your interest money do the work for you, and increase your wealth. And I think to be intelligent on the money side means that you know time is a really important issue. Don't wait longer. Start, take action to start your investments. It is really, really important to know your options. It's better to just jump to one option if you don't know all the others than not to jump. But it's best if you get an overview. Okay, what's possible for me? What's the best way for me? Which strategy might be the best for me? Which risk profile do I have? What is my expectations of my return on investment? That are questions you have to argue with yourself, or with a mentor, or with someone who can help you to bring this out for you, so that you know, okay, that's the field of possibilities. As you said, it has been there always. You just haven't seen it in the past, because maybe you weren't interested, or maybe you were blocked, or maybe something. But all the options are there, and then you should decide, okay, what is the amount of strategy A, B, C, D, A I have to invest? What are the action steps I have to take? And you have to comprehend that your money should do the job for you, that you should come out of the struggle to change your time against money, and that you should build up some systems, for example, with investing in your ad spend for your own company, yeah, for your business, or to invest in some stocks from other business concepts, yes, or to build up some more systems, some more entrepreneurial systems which are doing the work for you. And if you see the difference between working for your money or letting your money do the work, that's a quite important shift to understand what's money intelligence, yeah, what's important in this fact. And you have to focus on the question, what can I do to build up the systems, or what can I do to start with my investments in these systems? Yeah, first, just take a few hours to build up your own strategy, but then live in the question, what can I do to build up systems? What can I do to invest my money and let money do the work for me?
Yes. So there are people that will continue to listen and continue to think, yes, I should. And there are those who say, okay, give me the plan, give me the strategy, let's get started. So if you feel that you're such a person and you really want to get started, there is the link to contact Eva and to find out what's best for you. And for those who invest and want to get started with Eva, there is a gift of mine, my new book, Auf das Geld fertig los, which is in German, and it's going to come out in English as well. So you get that book. And if you do now from this interview say, yes, I have to learn about my emotional intelligence, I'll set it up because I have to find out what's blocking me and overcome these blockages. So join the Money EQ Masterclass or straight away the Mastery. You see that you get rewarded, and then Eva is going to get a present of hers to you. Do you want to tell the audience what your present is?
Yes, it's a really big present, because I know that it's so much important to unstuck these obstacles. And therefore, I promised, or I decided to give a really big present. I made one of my programs. It's the orientational coaching for passive income streams, I might call it in English. And it gives you a really broad overview over all these possibilities to start. And it's not everything really a passive income, might be some active income first, because you have to invest time or money, and sometimes even both, to build up your passive income streams. But I give you there a really broad overview about, I think it feels like 100 different ways to do this, and you have several hours. So if you get unstuck with the help of Nadine, then you can jump to one of these strategies and say, okay, I know what it takes, and this sounds best for me. I would like to start with this.
Yes. So if you first invest in the Money EQ Mastery and say, okay, now I'm ready to work with Eva, this offer will stay there. Just ask me then, what was the link with Eva? And I will lovingly give it to you. So that is going to stay for, let's say, until after the Money EQ Mastery. So you have until the summer, because we're going to get started in April, and it's 5 weeks, very intense week. We will cover the 4 Money EQ pillars, which is how you appreciate things, including yourself, how you value, okay, that goes together, how you give value to what you have, what you do, what you are. The second is trust, because whatever deal or strategy or program you do, you have to trust the program, yourself, your actions, the system, etc. And this trust can be developed. Okay. Mm-hmm. The third is, and the third and fourth, they go together. We work with the universal law of giving and receiving. So if you want to earn money, there is something you give. It's your money, it's your time, it's your, passion, knowledge, etc., in order to get something back. So becoming aware that giving is starting the flow, it's the spark that lights the fire. So it becomes, it's fun, let's start, let's give this, let's give, because it's going to come back. So some people are already good at giving, that's great. And some people are really holding on to what they have. No, I cannot have more time or give out more money. So that's where you will stuck, right? But some have covered that. And then it's like, can you receive? And it starts with, can you receive a compliment? Are you open to receive gifts? Or like, no, it's not necessary, or I'm fine. So that is not knowing how to receive. And the secret is, if you do want to receive money, you have to know how to receive. Mm-hmm. So for me, that was a big one, to be in the receiving mode, to just be open for opportunities. And when you know, oh, this one is for me, then you act upon the opportunity. And this interview and the links here are just such an opportunity. And so do take action. If this feels that's something you want to do, just take action, click on the links and join the Money EQ Mastery and Eva's advice on how to get started.
Yes.
Eva, any last thoughts, words, recommendations for our listeners?
Yes, dear listeners, thank you so much that you spend your time with us, and be aware, if you are now not at the point on your life you would like to be, there are several reasons because of which it is the way it is at the moment. And if you would like to change something, then you have to change something. You won't get unstuck if you just try to do it by yourself, and you will lose more and more time to invest on your financial intelligence, to build up your wealth. So please just don't just hear what we are saying. Please take action. Remember the $1 million secret out of the Silicon Valley: what drives you to action is action. Don't let just inspire you. Inspiration is extremely important, but it isn't worth if you don't do anything. Take this inspiration here to get started with whatever you would like to do, but please don't sit here and say, yeah, okay, I've heard this before, I might do something in the future. No, do something now, just immediately, now, within the next 2 hours, whatever it might be, but do something. Take the knowledge you got here in the last hour and do something to improve your emotional, financial intelligence, to improve your financial intelligence, your strategies, whatever. Buy some books, click the link, go to Nadine's Masterclass. You can book termin, you can book
a call.
Yes, a call with my team. And I thank you so much that you have endured my English stumblings. And I hope that you get most of the points. And yes, I can just say again, take action.
Yes. So your English is perfect, and that's just perhaps the message. Nothing is perfect. Like if Eva would wait until her English is perfect to give this interview, we might wait for years, right? And we hope that by this time you are already financially free. So don't wait. There is no, you are perfect as you are. So live with that perfect, with that notion of being perfect, and do things that are imperfect, because you are perfect as a person. Everyone, you can get there wherever you want to go. So make up your mind. What is your next step? Do it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being on the interview, Eva. Thank you everyone for listening in, and join the Money EQ Masterclass starting this Monday, the March 22nd, and then the Mastery on April 8th. It's totally worth it. And then become financially free with Eva.
Yes, that's a great plan.
Thank you, and see you soon.
See you.